Hello and welcome back to this AWS course. We're currently in section 4 and this is lesson number 8, where we're going to update our React application to upload an image to an S3 bucket, and we're going to do that using a pre-signed URL. Now, to get hold of the pre-signed URL, we'll call the API server, where the code for generating the URL we wrote in lesson 6. And then we tested it in lesson 7 by making a couple of calls to curl in a terminal. If you'd like to follow along, there's a repo for every section of this course. So just go to richardbraycourses.co.uk and click on this repo link here. And that'll take you to GitHub, and you'll find there's a folder for every lesson of the course. So we're going to be picking up the code as of the end of lesson 6. You can copy this code here. And it might just be worth having a quick recap of the 2 calls we made using curl in lesson 7. So the first of these calls was to the API server. We hit this endpoint photos pre-signed URL, and it created a pre-signed URL for us. And then we took the value returned from this call and we passed it to curl a second time. Here, this is the value we actually got back. Then we say we want to put this file retro.jpg into the S3 bucket, and we tell it the content type. And this file was uploaded to the bucket. So we're just going to replicate these 2 calls to curl with JavaScript fetch calls. So with that, let's get started. So the code we want is the user interface code, which is in apps UI source, and we'll start off in the API server. This is the interface to the API server, and we'll implement those 2 calls. So the first one is going to be getting the pre-signed URL. As you can see, I've copied in a function to do this, and instead of curl, we're calling the JavaScript fetch function. And we're passing to it the URL of the API server. We saw how to do this in earlier lessons. And then the path within the Express server. It's a post call, and provided everything's okay, the response will contain the pre-signed URL that we need. So the other function call is going to take a parameter, which is a JavaScript file type. So this will actually have a file name inside it. And the first thing it does is make a call to this function to go and get the pre-signed URL, which will be in this string here. And then it makes a call to the URL that was received up here. And it's put, the content type is image JPEG. And then this body file is saying the data that is to go in the body of the call is the content of the file. So essentially what's going to happen, it's going to transfer this data into the file in the S3 bucket, whose pre-signed URL we received up here. Okay, now we've just got to write a little bit of UI code to select the file and call this. So I will create a new page to do that. I've actually got one ready, which I can just paste in. And if we scroll down here, this input here is actually using shadcn input control, and this will actually allow the user to select a file. And once the user selected a file, we'll call setSelectedFile, which is a useState command up here, and selected file will contain the file the user's chosen. And then when the user presses a button with an upload photo on it, we will call handle upload, and the handle upload function up here will call upload photo. That's the function here, and it will pass to it the selected file which came from the shadcn control. So all we now need to do is to create a link to this page. So to do that, I will go to our header, and I'll add one more link in here, like this. So this will create a menu item upload, and it will link to /upload in the address bar. And then finally, we just need to change our app to respond to that. So we'll have a route for that address, which of course is our upload page that we just added in. So if I just import that, that should be everything we need. So let's go ahead and test this. I will say npm install and then prun deploy everything. The main part of this is going to transfer a new UI to the CloudFront bucket. Okay, so we should find now that if we go back to CloudFront, we've now got an upload link, and if I press on it, here's our upload page. I can choose a file, and in fact I've got one in downloads over here. And then if I upload it, that will hopefully have worked. And if we go to S3, let's bring up a S3 console, and we go to the API service, we can see it's currently about 1230, which is here. So this is the image I just uploaded. Indeed, this is correct. So that's all working. So I will leave this lesson here.